Good morning all. This is Gayathri from Department of Computer Science and Applications. Today's topic is SQL commands. Before moving on to the topic, I am giving a brief description on SQL, that is structured query language. SQL is a database query language used to store and manage data in the database. SQL was the first commercial language introduced for EF Code's relational model of database, that is RDBMS. In RDBMS, data is stored in the form of tables. Today, almost all RDBMS use SQL as the standard database query language. SQL is used to perform all type of data operations in RDBMS. Next, characteristics of SQL. It helps users to access data in the relational database management system. It helps you to describe the data. It allows you to define the data in a database and manipulate that specific data. With the help of SQL, you can create and drop database and tables. You can set permissions on tables, procedures and views. Next is SQL commands. SQL commands are instructions which are given to the database to retrieve data from the database. It is also used to perform specific tasks, functions and queries on data. SQL can perform various functions like creating table, inserting value into the table, deleting table, creating database, deleting database, etc. Next is types of SQL command. There are mainly 5 categories of SQL commands. They are data definition language commands, data manipulation language commands, data control language commands, transaction control language commands and data query language commands. First I am moving on to the data definition language commands. DDL helps you to define the database structure or schema. This includes creation of table, altering table, deleting a table, etc. All DDL commands are auto-committed. That means it saves all the changes permanently in the database. Table describes various commands in DDL. The first command is create command. The create command is used to create database or table in RDBMS. Next is the alter command. It is used to alter the structure of the database tables. Next is truncate command. Truncate command is used to delete all rows from the table. Next is drop command. It is used to remove tables and database from RDBMS. Next is the rename command. It is used to rename a table. Second category is data manipulation language. DML commands are used for manipulating the data stored in the table and not the table itself. DML commands are not auto-committed. It means changes are not permanent to database. They can be rolled back. The table shows various DML commands and their description. First is the insert command. The insert command is used to insert value into a row. Next is delete command. Delete command is used to delete single row or multiple rows from a table. The update command is used to update or modify the value of a column. Next category is transaction control language commands. These commands are used to keep a check on other commands and their effect on the database. These commands can annul changes made by other commands by rolling the data back to its original state. It can also make any temporary change permanent. The table shows various TCL commands and their description. First is the commit command. It is used to permanently save all the transactions to the database. The rollback command is used to undo transactions. The SAVEPOINT command is used to roll the transaction back to a certain point. Next is the data control language. These are the commands to grant and take back authority from any database user. The table shows two commands, two DCL commands, that is grant and revoke. The grant command is used to give user access privilege to a database, and the revoke command is used to take back permissions from the user. The last category of command is data query language. Data query language is used to fetch data from tables based on conditions that we can easily apply. Select is a command, is a DQL command which is used to retrieve records from one or more tables. Next I am explaining each command in detail. First is the DDL commands. First command is create command. Create is a DDL SQL command used to create a table or a database in relational database management system. Let's see how to create a database using the create command. To create a database in RDBMS, create command is used. The syntax is create database, database name, semicolon. All SQL commands ends with semicolon. The example for creating a database is create database space test. Here test is the name of the database. Next, creating a table using the create command. Create command can also be used for creating a table. When we create a table, we have to specify the details of the columns. We can specify the names and data types of various columns in the create command itself. The syntax is create table space table name. Inside the bracket we have to specify all the columns and their corresponding data type. That is column name 1 data type, comma, column name 2 data type, comma, etc. We have to end that statement with a semicolon. The above command will create a table with the specified name in the database. For example, create table student, student ID int, comma, name varchar of 30, comma, age int, semicolon. This statement will create a new table with name student and 3 columns for that table, namely student ID, name and age. Where the column student ID will only store integer, the name will hold up to 30 characters and age will again store only integer values. Next is the alter command. Alter command is used for altering the structure of a table. The various functions of alter command are to add a column to an existing table, to rename any existing column, to change data type of any column or to modify its size, or to drop a column from the table. First is adding a new column using alter command. Using alter command, we can add a column to any existing table. The syntax is alter table, table name, add, inside the bracket we have to specify the column name and its data type. After that we have to put a semicolon. For example, alter table student, add address varchar of 200. This command will add a new column address to the table student, which will hold data of type varchar, which is nothing but string of length 200. Here add is a command used to insert a new column using the alter command. Next is adding multiple columns using alter command. Using alter command, we can even add multiple new columns to any existing table. The syntax is alter table, table name, add. Inside the bracket, we have to specify the columns and the corresponding data types. For example, alter table student, add father name, varchar of 60, comma, mother name, varchar of 60, comma, DOB, date, semicolon. The above command will add 3 new columns to the student table. Next is modifying an existing column using alter command. Alter command can also be used to modify data type of any existing column. The syntax is alter table, table name, modify. Inside the bracket, we have to specify the column name and its data type. For example, alter table, student, modify, address, varchar of 300. Here in the example, the alter command is used to modify the address field of size 200 to 300. Next is renaming a column using alter command. Using alter command, you can rename an existing column. The syntax is alter table, table name, rename old column name to new column name. For example, alter table, student, rename address to location. Here, the address field of the student table is renamed to location. Next is dropping a column using alter command. Alter command can also be used to drop or remove columns. The syntax is alter table, table name, drop column name. Example, alter table student, drop address. Here, the address column is removed from the table student. Next command is the truncate command. Truncate command removes all the records from a table, but this command will not destroy the table's structure. The syntax is truncate table space table name, semicolon. For example, truncate table student. The above query will delete all the records from the table student. Next is the drop command. The drop command is used to remove a table from the database. This command will also destroy the table structure and the data stored in it. The syntax is drop table, table name. Example, drop table student. The above query will delete the student table completely from the database. Next is the rename command. The rename command is used to set a new name for any existing table or any existing column. The syntax is rename table, old table name to new table name. Here is an example. Rename table student to student info. Here, the table named student will be renamed to student info. Here to is a command used with rename. Next, we are going to discuss the DML commands. The first command is insert command. The insert command is used to insert values into the table. The syntax is insert into table name, values. Inside the bracket, we have to specify the values in order, semicolon. For example, consider a table student with the following fields, that is student ID, name and age. If we want to insert values into this table, we have to write the query like this: insert into student values. Inside the bracket, we have to specify the values in order. That is, first we have to specify the student ID, next name and next age. So, in the example, 101 Adam, 15 is entered as the first row. The above command will insert a new record into the student table. The output or the result set is shown. Next, update command is used to update any record of data in a table. The syntax is update table name set column name equal to new value where some condition. Here, where is a clause used to provide conditions. For example, consider a table student with the attributes student ID, name and age. 3 rows are entered in this table. If we want to update this table, we have to use the update query. The syntax is update student set age is equal to 18 where student ID is equal to 102. This query will result in the following table. That is, the result set will look like this. Next is the delete command. The delete command is used to delete data from a table. The syntax is delete from table name. First is the query to delete all records from a table. Delete from student. This command will delete all the records from the table student. Next is a query to delete a particular record from a table. Delete from student where student ID is equal to 103. Here, the record of the student with student ID 103 is deleted from the student table. Next is the transaction control language commands. The first command is commit command. Commit command is used to permanently save any transaction into the database. When we use any DML command like insert, update or delete, the changes made by these commands are not permanent until the current session is closed. The changes made by these commands can be rolled back. To avoid that, we use the commit command to mark the changes as permanent. Following is the commit command syntax. That is, just write commit and put a semicolon. Next is the rollback command. This command restores the database to the last committed state. It is also used with SAVEPOINT command to jump to a save point in an ongoing transaction. If we have used the update command to make some changes into the database and realize that those changes were not required, then we can use the rollback command to roll back those changes if they were not committed using the commit command. The syntax for rollback command is rollback to save point name. Here we have to specify the name of the save point. Next is the save point command. Save point command is used to temporarily save a transaction so that you can roll back to that point whenever required. Following is the save point command syntax. Save point name, semicolon. In short, using this command, we can name the different states of our data in any table and then roll back to that state using the rollback command whenever required. Next is the DCL commands. Two commands are there in DCL, that is grant and revoke. The DCL is used to control privileges in database. To perform any operation in the database, such as for creating tables, sequence or views, a user needs privilege. Privileges are of two types. One is system privilege and another is object privilege. System privilege includes permissions for creating session, table, etc. and all types of other system privileges. Object privilege includes permissions for any command or query to perform any operation on the database tables. In DCL, we have two commands, that is grant and revoke. Grant is used to provide any user access privilege or other privileges for the database. And the revoke command is used to take back permission from any user. Next is the data query language commands. The select query is a data query language command. It is used to retrieve data from a table. It is the most used SQL query. We can retrieve complete table data or partial data by specifying conditions using the where clause. The syntax of select query is select column name 1, comma, column name 2, comma, column name 3, etc. up to column name n from table name semicolon. Consider the following student table. Here 4 rows are there. If we want to select student ID, name and age from this table, we have to write the query as select SID, comma, name, comma, age from student, semicolon. This query will fetch information of student ID, name and age columns of the student table and display them. The output or the result set will be like this. The result set contains 3 columns, that is SID, name and age. If we want to select all records from a table, we have to specify it using an asterisk symbol. A special character asterisk is used to address all the data in a query. Select statement use star or asterisk character to retrieve all records from a table for all the columns. Example, select star from student. This query will show all the records of the student table. That means it will show complete data set of the table. Next, we can select a particular record based on some condition. For that, we use the where clause. Example, select star from student where name is equal to, inside a single quotes, we have to specify the name, Abhi, and put a semicolon. This query will return the following result. That is, the record of Abhi is shown in the result set. In this session, I have covered various SQL commands such as DDL commands, DML commands, DQL commands, TCL commands and DCL commands. I hope this session will be helpful to you. Thank you.